Welcome again to my course, Working in Child Protection Field. Our topic today is child development. In the previous video, we explained the topic of child protection basics, which included presenting the categories of children that we target in child protection. To be able to provide support, protection, and assistance to these groups of children, you need to understand child development. This does not mean that your knowledge on this subject should be at the same level as a physician, psychologist, or sociologist. Rather, I mean understanding some simple information that I will present in this video, which is called child development. In child protection, we mean by child development understanding the child's age stages, understanding the differences and needs of each age stage, knowing the factors affecting each age group, also knowing how to deal with each age group. And the question here is, why do we need to understand child development? Understanding child development will help to understand children's needs, reactions, and coping strategies, especially in the crises and emergencies, and helps to provide appropriate support for children and youth. Also helps to promote the long-term well-being of children, youth, adults, and societies as a whole. Now let's move to some important notes in child development. First, social and emotional development continues throughout a person's life, especially in childhood and adolescence. Events, problems, and challenges in childhood may affect the rest of life. Knowing how children's abilities develop throughout childhood helps us to support the growth and development process, to identify risks facing growth and development process. The second note is, earlier we defined a child as any person under 18 years, but you should know that this period of time can be divided into these stages. The first stage is infant, which starts from the first day of age and ends with the 18 months of age. Then toddler stage, then early childhood stage, then middle age stage, then early adolescent stage, then adolescence stage. You should know that the cognitive level, the physical and emotional abilities, the needs, challenges, problems, and etc. all are different from one age stage to another. Thus, when working, you should realize what age stage you are dealing with and what that requires. Anyway, there are four main areas of child development. The first is physical development. The second is social development. The third is cognitive development. And the fourth is emotional development. These areas of a child's development can be affected by some factors, either positively or negatively. The pressures of crises, problems, and challenges generate stress that can affect a child's development. Thus, it is important to know all types of stress that can affect child development. The first type of stress is called positive stress, in which a child may show mild and short-term responses. This type of stress is normal and important for healthy development because it activates the child's emotional self-regulation and enables problem solving. And the second type is called tolerable stress, in which the child shows strong and severe responses to the pressure he or she faces. This type of stress can disrupt the structure of the brain, but only for short time, and allow the brain to recover when combined with supportive relationships that facilitate adequate adaptation. While the third type is called toxic stress, in which the child may show strong, repetitive, or prolonged responses to the pressure, which can be chronic, harmful, and uncontrollable without the child's parents or the caregiver. This type of stress is very negative on the child's development. Now let's move to the factors that affect child development. There are two groups of factors that affect child development. The first is the positive group, which includes the child himself or herself, then the family, then the community, then the society. These four factors are the positive factors. while the negative group includes the child, the family, community, and society. That means these 4 factors can be positive and at the same time negative for the child's development. To understand how these factors work and how affect child development, you can go to the video of child protection factors. We dedicated a separate video for this important topic. For now, let's see this.
The first 6 years of a child's life, beginning with the mother's pregnancy, is a time of great promise and rapid development. It's a time when the child's brain is most open to the influence of relationships and experiences. At the same time, significant disturbances in the child's life, such as trauma, neglect, and abuse, can undermine their development and lifelong health. The most important time for a child's brain development is during the mother's pregnancy and the early years. The brain is one of the few organs not fully developed at birth. At birth, a baby's brain can only control the most basic functions, those that keep the heart beating, the lungs taking in air, and the sucking reflex, which allows the baby to feed on the breast or bottle. Over the next 2,000 days, from 0 to 6 years, the child's brain will learn its more complex functions, which include memory, speech and language, comprehension, emotion regulation, planning, and decision-making. By understanding how the brain develops, you'll be able to understand a child, respond more effectively to their needs, and build a foundation for a child's physical, social, emotional, and mental health. Let's learn more about a child's developing brain. The brain starts to form very early in the mother's pregnancy. Babies are learning even before they are born. The child's brain development is affected by both nature and nurture. Nature refers to all genetic and hereditary factors, what the child is born with, their inherited traits and abilities. Nurture refers to all environmental factors, what the child experiences, their environment, the care they receive, and the relationships they have with people and their community. Even though the newborn's brain architecture contains billions of neurons, only a small number of them are connected. The brain of a newborn baby is basically a disorganized bundle of nerves that need to be connected or wired together for the brain to be able to communicate with other parts of their body. A child's everyday experiences and relationships with their parents and caregivers create brain connections. This process is called serve and return. Serve and return refers to the two-way, back-and-forth interactions between a child and a responsive adult. To understand the concept of serve and return, imagine a game of tennis. A child serves when they reach out for interaction. When they smile, babble, or cry, responsive parents and caregivers can return the serve by smiling back, playing peekaboo, or offering comfort with a hug. The more positive serve and return experiences they have, the stronger the child's brain connections become.
That was everything about child development. Thanks very much and see you in the next video.